Hey Taurus, welcome to your love and reading video, your love and romance reading for April 2020. This is going to be for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and yes, of course, Venus. I know a lot of you like to look at your Venus sign when it comes to love. If you're not clear about that, hang out till the end. We'll talk about that a little bit. But for now, we're going to jump right on into this lovely reading for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus. I feel like I need one more shuffle. All right, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, Taurus. You have the Emperor coming up for you guys at the foundation of your energy for April 2020 when it comes to love and romance. This is going to come through in a few different ways. For some of you, you could have a significant soul connection, soul contract, soul karma situation going on with either a Scorpio or an Aries, simply because Emperor is associated with those two astrological signs. Or it could be an aspect within yourself that's coming to the forefront. But overall, the Emperor is a card having to do with foundation, having to do with stability, and setting down orders and rules and laws, okay? And so right now, things are very up in the air for many people. So you may be visiting a relationship and coming into order, coming into direction, coming into like, this is how it's going to have to be if this relationship is going to succeed. There might be kind of, you know, finding the boundaries or like feeling like the rules of the relationship need to be clarified. Those of you who are single, you may be really kind of coming together with a plan or an idea, a way in which you're wanting to take charge and be more proactive about steps or things that you can do to find a long-lasting relationship, something solid, something that's gonna stick, right? You know, Taurus, you guys are definitely a sign that values security, that values stability. And so right now we're in a time where many things are very much up in the air. And so you may be thinking about your personal relationships and wanting those to be more secure and more stable. And you're looking at it from like a logical standpoint. You know, what's working, what's not working, what can be changed, what can be done differently to get more long-lasting results. Emperor is also an energy that has learned from its mistakes. You know, so this might be something that you're bringing into your decision-making process as well. You're allowing the past to be your teacher, and this is how people grow into wisdom. You're becoming more wise. You're finding wise solutions. You're finding wise approaches for relationships or going into your next relationship. Okay, so this is really, really kind of taking charge. Taurus, some of you feel like you've been yanked around by somebody or somebody's jerking you around and you're not having it anymore. You're not having it. You're like, listen up. Listen up. Like, if we're going to continue together, this is how it's going to be. Like, this is a time to tighten up, right? What is it? Shape up or ship out? Yo, Taurus, a lot of you are in that energy. You're like in the energy where you're ready to throw around some ultimatums. Your next card here is 4 of Pentacles, 4 of Coins. So you're not playing. You are not playing at all. Leo had something very similar, so I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have Leo in your placement somewhere, your moon, your rising, maybe your Venus. But I wouldn't be surprised if you have Leo, because Leo had kind of a similar energy here with the 4 of Pentacles or 4 of Coins, where it was again like you're just kind of like you're tightening up and you're being more cautious with your time, your space, your energy, your resources. I feel for some of you, maybe you've been feeling very generous, or you've been behaving generously, and now you're in a situation where, as things are becoming more real, you're being more cautious with your space, you're being more cautious with your resources, and you're not feeling so generous. You're kind of having borders up, or you're putting boundaries up, and you're needing your space, and you're keeping more to yourself. Okay, so you're thinking about your self-preservation. You're in self-preservation mode, Taurus, and this is coming through in your relationship. I think you're looking at your partner with a magnifying glass. You're going through everything with like a fine-tooth comb. Like you are really, really analyzing your relationship, and you are really kind of coming up with how you feel things are going to have to be done differently. Like you're not happy, but you're also coming up with what you think is going to make you happier, or how you feel the situation can be resolved. You're not just coming in like nagging or complaining or, you know, being difficult or sulking. You're basically coming up and saying, look, this isn't working, and here's how we need to fix it. So you're coming in with an action plan. And I feel for some of you, finances are a part of this, you know. Maybe you have a partner who's been spending a lot of money, and you're like, nope, like this isn't going to happen right now. You know, we're in difficult times and it's not going to work. Or you're going to have to find some way to contribute, or you're going to have to find some way that maybe you can find some creative way to bring something in here. But Four of Pentacles can indicate that finances are affecting your relationship. And for whatever reason, Taurus, with you guys, I feel like you have the money in the situation, or you're about to have the money in the situation, and you're going to be very cautious as to how it's distributed. You're maybe setting boundaries, financial boundaries in the relationship. Okay? Your next card here is Six of Swords. Sagittarius got this also. I can't think of who else. But this is about wanting to get away from drama. Like you don't want to go through the same thing over and over again. You don't want to deal with it. You don't want to deal with the same argument, the same fighting. And that might be where that Emperor energy came up in the beginning. Like you're ready to shut it down. You're ready to shut it down. This is how it's going to be. This is how we're going to have things moving smoothly. This is how things are going to go well. And so Six of Swords is moving away from that drama, finding a resolution, being able to move away from the more tumultuous or more difficult times. Some of you may be doing something with this Four of Coins where, you know, you're taking money and maybe you're leaving town with your person or with your family. Maybe you're going somewhere that you feel is going to be safer, or somewhere that you feel is going to be better, to kind of get a fresh start. And maybe you're feeling like, you know what, this is as good a time as any, right? Maybe you just kind of feel like a lot of things have fallen away. A lot of things are, you know, removing themselves from the equation. And so you're like, if we're going to start fresh, let's really start fresh. And so there could be something about traveling. There could be something about getting away to go kind of go further out, you know. You know, you might be dealing with a relationship or a person. Maybe you guys are like, hey, let's go live off the grid. You know, I kind of get that vibe here from that. And if that's the case, I would just say, please exercise caution. You know, I'm not going to say it can't be done, but, you know, you can't go into something like that willy-nilly. I mean, hence the Emperor energy, right? Like you have to really be organized. You have to really be planned. You really have to have some experience under your belt. You can't just willy-nilly go and say, oh, I'm going to go and do this, or let's go get like a fresh start elsewhere, you know, off the grid. Like that's not something that, you know, you can take lightly. Hence all of those cards about, you know, boundaries and experience and plans and organization and, you know, tightening up on the resources. But that could be a dynamic for some of you. For other ones of you, I feel like you're hunkering down in your relationship, and you're wanting to disconnect from the outside world. You're not, like, when people call, maybe you guys aren't being quick to answer phone calls. You're not taking visitors. Maybe people are wanting to come by and they're like wanting to see you. And a lot of it could be because of what we're going through right now. A lot of people are being very cautious, and they're, you know, not, you know, hanging out with people. They're not being very social. However, I think that this for some of you is also benefiting and going back to the basics of an existing relationship, bringing peace into your relationship, or bringing peace into your family or family structure. You guys are all being able to deal with each other, where maybe before there was a lot of distractions, and those distractions are being cut out, right? No more distractions. We're face to face, heart to heart. We're having a talk. We're working through things. And Six of Swords is saying that it's going to be better. There's going to be solutions. There's going to be peace. There's going to be a coming together, right? A clean slate. Your next card here, Taurus, we have Eight of Swords, right? So even though there's some solutions, and even though, sorry, I'm missing a nail. All the nail salons are closed right now. I'm going to be switching over to press-ons soon. You guys will see in the next few videos. But with the Eight of Swords, we have here the energy with... sometimes we're feeling a little bit stuck. We're feeling a little bit limited. And you know what I think that what this is? I think that because you're having so much progress happening in your love life, or so much progress happening in your relationship, Taurus, because you're in this very like organized, take charge energy, Eight of Swords tells me like there's this part of you where you're beating yourself up and you're saying, man, I wish I had realized these things sooner. Or I wish I had set these boundaries or rules sooner. We could have done so much right now. But because everything is kind of up in the air, because there's not like a whole lot of stability right now, there's a lot of things I wish I could do that I can't do, right? Like, you know, maybe some of you were getting ready to get out there and date, and now you're like, well, now I'm, you know, I have this resolution with these people, but I can't see them or I can't spend time with them. Or you're living, you know, with a person, or you're married to a person, and you're like, man, there's so much we could have done together. We could have accomplished together if we have gotten this BS cleared out sooner. And so Eight of Swords is saying you're feeling stuck, you're feeling discouraged, you're feeling a little bit trapped. And Eight of Swords is saying, look, you're not as trapped as you think you are, right? Some of this could also just be from being cooped up. Like, you know, oh gosh, like, you know, we're resolving issues, but I'm going kind of stir crazy. Eight of Swords says that there's actually solutions. They may be different from what you're anticipating. But if you get out of the fear mindset, if you take off the blindfold, if you look at the circumstances, you're going to see that you're not stuck, that you can get in between those swords very easily. You can move them out of your way. You're fine. You're okay. You're not that stuck. You're not that trapped. Taurus, some of you are dealing with a partner who's falling into the fear. And so you might have to take charge of what's coming into your home in terms of information, in terms of media, right? We need to stay current with the news. I watch the news. I pay attention to news stories. You know, I'll look at videos and read articles and watch the news stations. But you need to be cautious because you want to stay away from any outlet, any media that's bringing news in a very panicked, fearful, hate-mongering kind of way, right? Like, this is not a time to take the situation and come into, like, political divisions. This is not a time to take the situation and try to push your political agenda and to cause, you know, cause people to hate one group over another, and oh, we're all screwed because, you know, this person's an idiot and blah blah blah, and they just hate. It's not going to do us any good, right? We want to keep up with the news. We want to know what we need to do to protect ourselves, what we can do with the latest information that's being released to, you know, protect ourselves and our family. But we want to stay away from any outlet that's making us feel terrified. If it's making us feel terrified, if it's making us feel hopeless, if it's making us feel like, you know, we have no hope because we can't trust who's in power, all that stuff is negative vibration. It's low vibration and it's a lie. Okay? And so Taurus, you might have to be the one to take leadership in your household over this, right? You might have to say, you know what, that's enough of that. Or let's check a different outlet for information. Or let's get our information in a different way. Let's not allow things in here that's causing depression and fear and terror, right? You know, when we receive, I will tell you something as an intuitive, okay, as a reader. I will sometimes receive information, even for myself, You know, that's not happy news. We don't always get good news. We don't always go, oh, well, everything's going to be wonderful. Sometimes we get information and it's not what we were hoping. Or it's like, hey, you know, this is a hard time coming up ahead. But the information will always come in with solutions, with what can be done, how you can prepare yourself for it, how you can get over it. It never comes in a way where there's terror, helplessness, and absolute fear. When it comes in that way, you know it's something low vibrational that's just messing with you, that's trying to disconnect you, that's trying to throw you off balance, that wants to feed off of your fear and that negative energy. Okay, so even when spirit shows us difficult situations or tells us that, hey, this isn't going to be easy, it will come in with solutions. It's not just going to come in to scare the crap out of us. So you might have to be the person, Taurus, in your household that's being that voice of reason. And you might also have to talk yourself out of that fear thinking. Okay, your next card here is Knight of Wands. And so Knight of Wands is very opposite to Eight of Swords, because Eight of Swords is feeling stuck, whereas Knight of Wands is taking action. So you've come up with some really good plans. You've come up with some really great ideas. And Knight of Wands is saying that you might be having to implement these. Okay, moving forward, taking charge. You're taking charge of the relationship. This is how we're going to do it. This is how we're going to fix things. This is how we're going to make it better. However, Knight of Wands indicates you don't have a very big window to make the decision or to take the steps. When we see Knight of Wands, time is of the essence, and you're thinking on the fly and you're coming up with solutions, right? And you are kind of taking the lead. So Taurus, I feel overall the energy here in your love life in April is you are taking the lead. Whether you are taking charge of what you're doing in your life and how you're calling in the appropriate person for yourself, or you're going through tremendous growth and unblocking in April that is opening up the road to a very high vibrational partner, or if you're taking the lead in an existing relationship. But this is what's happening. You're taking back your power. And you're not putting up with any kind of nonsense, right? You're taking the lead and you're finding solutions. Okay. I was talking about the Venus sign and the house placements. So Venus, which sign we have Venus can indicate more about our love life or how we are dealing with romantic situations. So this is why a lot of people like to check their Venus sign when it comes to love. It may resonate with you, it may not. I've heard people say their moon sign really resonates when it comes to love. I've heard people say their sun sign resonates just fine. You're going to have to watch a few different videos for a few months and see overall which one tends to resonate most. And then you'll have a pretty good idea of like where you're falling in that energy. A lot of you have been sending me your charts and things to analyze. And I've told you guys, I'm not an astrology expert. And I know that you guys are coming to me with really, really serious situations or really like things that are very important for you, right? And I don't take that lightly. I'm happy to read for you. If you want a private reading, I'm happy to have you go on the Calendly link and schedule a private reading. I'm happy to pull cards for you, but I'm not going to give you astrology advice. And I'm not going to give you like break down the astrology because I'm not an expert in that area. But I had an astrologer reach out to me that blew my mind. So I'm letting you guys know. I have the link in the description. There's a lot of free stuff on the website. You can look at articles explaining the rising sign, how that affects things, other articles like guides in terms of astrology, like astrology guides and things. There's like free helpful resources, but they've been super cool and they let me know that they're going to give my viewers unlimited 30% off their already very reasonable prices for anybody who wants to get like a natal chart analysis or a love compatibility report. Like if you want to check your astrology against someone else's astrology, all their different reports, as many as you want. You can use the discount code ANGEL30 as many times as you want, and you'll go ahead and you will get 30% off. So check that out if that's something you'd like to do. And you'll be able to also check out the free resources. If you like the deck that I used, I am giving it away for free. This is my older copy. I went and I got a newer copy because my older copy, as you can see, it's minor wear and tear, but it's all kind of beat up around the edges. And since I do videos and I take pictures and I do card of the day, sometimes that doesn't look so good in the photos. So that's why I got a new deck. So if you want to get your own new deck, I have it linked in the description of the video. But if you want to win this one, all the cards are here, original box, booklet, everything complete set. I'm going to pick a winner from Instagram and Facebook comments at the end of April. So I'm just going to see who jumps out at me. And at the end of April, I will pick somebody that I've been seeing in the comments. And I will DM you. I'll get the address. And I will send the deck out to the winner. And I go through a lot of decks, you guys. I really, really do, because they get beat up from readings and I have to get new ones because they're going to be photographed. They're going to be on video. So the cards need to look like they're in good condition. So I've decided that this is going to be my recycling program. I don't want to throw away a perfectly good deck, and I don't have enough space to have a bunch of the same deck, right? So I thought, what better way to deal with that situation than to allow them to find a new home. So if you're interested in that, be sure to follow Amethyst Angellight on Facebook and Instagram. Be sure to comment, and hopefully you'll get a deck, and hopefully eventually maybe everybody will get a deck. I don't know. I'm going to be doing this I'm going to be doing this probably once a month. So I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. I'm wishing you guys a lovely month ahead, my dears. Don't forget to watch the channeled angel messages. Those are going to be up in the next 48 hours. From this video, and the weeklies are going to be up too, so keep an eye out for the weekly videos. Those will be up soon. If you hit subscribe and notification, you'll get a notice when those are posted. Take care.